I am nice and scruffy today.
Yeah. Sally
Good
was rough.
afternoon, everybody. Susan, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing really good. This is, if you're tuning in or if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, this is, what is it? It's May 17th, and it is another version of our Saturday afternoon coffee mastermind. Got the coffee right here. My little, hold on, monkey cup. And you have yours too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is actually kind of cool. I'm excited about this one in particular because we both had a lot of stuff going on. Both myself and Susan, a lot of stuff going on over the past couple months, and what was a regular weekly Saturday afternoon coffee mastermind where we would record kind of a little mastermind, talk about different subjects and things like that. Hasn't happened in probably, what, 2 months?
Yeah, maybe even three.
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been too long. Whatever it is, it's been too long. So we have carved out time in our schedules, and for me, it is it's more evening than afternoon. It's about 6:45 here, and the sun is just starting to set over the Caribbean. And here in Playa del Carmen, and I'm just going to rub that in a little bit. The sun is setting.
Yes,
Playa
yes.
del Carmen. How are things in Canada?
Well, clear skies. The sun was really shining today, and it was thrilled. It was a thrilling. Let me see if I can convert it. We were 20, so
It's pretty.
78.
Wow, it's pretty warm.
Yeah.
Not really the frozen tundra, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good because I think the last time we did a Saturday afternoon coffee mastermind, it was about 82 degrees here, and probably negative 82 there,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. I'm glad you're not freezing to death up there anymore. So um, I'm scruffy. I've got my beach scruff going on, and what are we going to talk about today? Because we got to make this powerful since it's been almost a quarter of the year since we've done it.
Well, we are going to talk about acknowledging, being aware of, and listening to the messages that the universe presents to us, and the kind of ripple effect that it can cause. And also, I bet, I'm just knowing how our thought-provoking conversations go, we're going to go and tie it into the ripple effect that it does cause and how important it is to reflect on how that all happened and maybe just freeze frame those moments and realize how great it was to have listened to that message. I think it's good to appreciate it, like have gratitude for those messages and the decision to follow them.
I think so. I think so. And both of us really recently have had, some pretty dramatic um, changes in life and business direction and all these kinds of things. So, and a lot of that for me, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, and I've probably done the same for you because I know you. But for me, it's been a matter of letting go to a certain degree, and changing up my environment. It was a big thing about it. I'm moving from Las Vegas to Mexico, but other than for me, like other than just knowing I had to get out of Vegas, I didn't have direction, so to speak. I didn't know anybody here in Playa del Carmen. I didn't know anybody in Mexico. I just made the decision to make the move, and then kind of left the rest up to the universe or fate or whatever, however you want to put it. And looking back, it's coming up in almost a year now. It'll be a year in July, and we're in the middle of May, so yeah, about 2 months, about 10 months And now I'm out of the original move, you know, because this time last year, let me see, this time last year, I was in Las Vegas, and I had made, I don't know if I'd made the decision to move yet, or what. I don't know if I'd have my meltdown at the nightclub yet or not, but it was, I was in a much different place in life than I am now. That's for sure. That's for sure. And you know, like for me, I knew I had to get out of Vegas. I was done, you know, trying to swim upstream there, and I knew deep, deep, deep down that I had to get out of Vegas. So I just kind of picked a place and went, and there was no really rhyme or reason other than I'd been here before, like 10 years ago, and I liked it. That's it. So it's been, man, now that I'm thinking about it now, and I'm far enough away from it that you can kind of look back, but I'm not too far away from it that I've lost the memories, and it's a really, kind of a really powerful thing. It was nice because I don't look back, I'm like, wow, you know.
I think even that decision that you made, it's not even the place and what's happened and the people that you've connected with there and what's happened directly with that. But I think that decision itself put you in a different sort of mindset, that it opened you up to a bunch of other things outside of where you moved to and what it's done for your business and all of that. But other aspects of your thinking. I wonder, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, because once you know, I mean, it's almost cliche, especially in the world of marketing or personal development or whatever, for people to say, you know, make a decision. You know, it's cliche. It's almost has lost its meaning,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're a student of personal development. But there was one point at one night where I made the decision, and it was right around this time last year. I'm trying to remember exactly. Maybe it was like the beginning of May or whatever. But yeah, I like literally had one of those. I don't care how, I don't care whatever, but it was just everything I did from that point on was, you know, my life changed from that moment, that one moment where I was sitting on my bed and I was like, you know, because I'd always had this vision that if I can get my Empower business up to 10 grand a month or whatever, I can get my online marketing up to 10 grand a month, then I can go live around the world and live anywhere I want, live in a tropical paradise or whatever. And then I remember I was just pissed off with everything, and I was looking at cost of living in different places. I'm like, man, this is something I could actually do right now with the money I'm making. And then there was that aha moment in the nightclub where Nelly was playing, and I was having issues with everybody, and I just walked out. Couldn't handle it anymore. So I walked out, and from that moment on, I put everything was toward a different direction.
Yeah. And do you remember what our first hangout was about? This is related.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you had made the decision to move and you were making videos. And it was your video showing what you had done in your house, like everything's all packed up and stuff like that. And then you were talking about you were talking about a book and something, how it had to do with walking the dog, and it had just the right keywords in it and the views, and you had it in a blog post. And so I contacted you and I asked you what you had done with it, because it had a ton of social engagement, and you're like, what? So then the first hangout that we did was because of you doing that, and then we talked about repurposing content and video and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, actually, I remember now, because the title of that YouTube video was "How Walking Your Dog Can Make You a Millionaire."
Yes, that's it. There you go.
And for some reason, it got a ton of shares and tweets, and I don't know. Yeah, it was really weird. So that was our first hangout, huh?
Yeah.
I'm such a typical guy.
So one thing led to another, and that was all because of your initial decision, right?
Yep. Well, that video was made prior to my decision. I'd made that video earlier, but when we started doing these hangouts, I'd already made the decision to move.
Yes, you had. Because it wasn't that video that caught my attention. The video that caught my attention was one of the ones that you had done after, where you were talking about that you were moving and you had packed everything up and stuff. And then while I was on your channel, just because that's what I do, then I look at all the other content, and then I found your other video and blog post. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it does. I remember now because I had made a video where I was just holding my iPhone and walking to my house and showing how everything was kind of packed up and cleaned out, and I was really doing it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that it was really odd is I just posted that video just because it was more, I guess, cathartic for me, you know. It wasn't really a planned marketing thing, but for some reason that video is still always in my top 10 most popular YouTube videos if you look at, you know, the number of plays and minutes watched each month and all that. And I didn't market it, didn't keyword optimize it, didn't promote it, didn't do anything. It just, for some reason, it's just up there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because then it was probably right about now that we started doing Hangouts.
Yep.
Last year.
Yes, it was. I think we did one in May, 2 or 3 in June, and then July was moving month, and I had a bunch of stuff going on. So then we had a little bit of a space, and then in the fall it was every single Saturday.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of neat.
It
was more of a walk down memory lane than a universe tutorial, but
it is kind of all that because it was listening to the universe, like both of us listened to the universe, and here we are, and we've created a ton of content, and both of our lives have kind of at the same time, yet on completely different parallels, made huge evolutions, I guess. Really.
Oh yeah. Whichever, we've grown significantly, both as individuals and as, you know, in our online marketing businesses and things of that nature. So it's been, you know, if I look back and say, you know, because I kind of look at July 28th, I believe is my first day in Mexico after I crossed the border. I believe it's either 27th or 28th, 26th or 28th. I look at that as kind of my freedom date, but to be absolutely honest, my Independence Day, as it were, was probably more along the lines of the day that I made that decision. Because everything was set in motion then.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree.
Going back,
and I think, excuse me, I think it's really cool that during this time that we're both learning completely different stuff, that we brought it together and we're bringing the audience a ton of value during this time. That's the part that I really appreciate and think that's cool.
Yeah, I think so. And when you look at, if you want to take it back just a little bit further, like, the universe brings you together with people, both people, events, places, things, everything, for a reason. You know, because there was really no reason for you and I to meet. We knew each other via Facebook, one of our Facebook groups, but we weren't in business together. We weren't really no reason for us to connect. I was in Vegas, you were in Canada, we're in different teams, you know, everything, you know, there was no, you know, it's kind of a random connection.
Yeah.
But something that's worked. And I've had that happen so many times, you know, when the universe puts you in front of the right people, and it creates a relationship and affects your life and brings you on a different course. And it's been absolutely amazing since I've gotten down here. So many things have happened and just fallen into place that, when I made the drive down here, I was just like, I'm gonna go there and I'll figure it out. And everything has just fallen into place. It's been, I mean, amazing.
So, can we take a moment to zoom in for anybody in the audience that doesn't really kind of get, because it's hard to really explain what that means. Like, so let's just zoom in a little bit more to help anybody that doesn't understand what are we talking about? Like, what's that message, or how do we know to take action on it, or what did we do in specific instances to take action that brought us together with a person that relationship has been life-changing?
Yeah. What do you want to zoom in on first?
Well, why don't you give your example of your video that was viewed in the morning and then you were approached, and what it's led to, like, since you've been down in Mexico. Give that example.
Well, like, for example, I was sitting at a coffee shop on the corner of Fifth Avenue and Constituyentes here in Playa del Carmen, and I had Winston with me, and a woman approached me, completely out of the blue, tall blonde woman, and from Canada, actually, up in your neck of the woods. But she's like, "Oh, hey, I know you," and I'm like, "Sorry," like I wouldn't recognize her. She stood out, and she's more Vancouver style than Playa style. So I'm like, "No, I would have remembered you. I'm pretty sure," And she's like, "No, no, no." She's like, "You're on YouTube, right?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, she's like, I watched one of your videos this morning. I remember one of your videos this morning, actually, and I remember your dog and you were doing this." She actually watched that one where I was going around the house, the same one that you saw. And I did a little thing, Winston on the bed. I'm like, "Oh, here's Winston being lazy." He's like, laid out, and then I went down the hallway and everything. But I was like, "Oh, that's so random," And so we sat and chatted. Really, really nice. Her name's Leah. She's awesome. And her and her husband or boyfriend or whatever have been down here like 5 years. She's like managing a real estate company, and she's asking what I did, and I told her I'd done real estate, and then I'd gotten off, and I was doing online marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So we had coffee and hung out for a little bit, and then she's like, "You really need to come in and talk to my boss. The owner of the company. He's looking for somebody with your skill set. You have, kind of a particular skill set between real estate and online marketing, looking for somebody that has those two things." I was like, I'm not really looking for anything, and I wasn't looking to get into real estate in any way, shape, or form. But, okay, this is where we want to focus in, because this is one of those things where, in my opinion, this is so freaking random that I'm going to run into some random woman who just watched my video that morning, and then we meet at a coffee shop in the Riviera Maya in Mexico. And my first instinct was like, no, I'm just doing Empowered, I'm just doing my online affiliate marketing, that's it. But there's a part of me. What's that?
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to go like zigzag back and forth, but that's a point that I just really want to point out here. There's no way that could have been random, because it's the same video that made me want to connect with you and work with you. It's the same video that was like a result of a big decision that you made.
Right.
That's just kind of cool. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, when I look back at it, it's not random. I mean it. No. But
at the time, it feels random, but it's cool.
It feels random, and even though the universe will put these situations in front of you, what you choose to do with them, and which path you choose, and which reality. I don't want to get into the multiverse theory and all that kind of stuff. Is too much for this particular video, but whichever path that you decide to take, whichever reality that you decide to make yours. My initial thought was a pushback against that. I'm like, no, mostly out of pride and everything else. I'm like, no, I'm just doing affiliate marketing, and that's who I am now. But there was a part of me that was like, this is really random, and this might be, might be something. You know what I mean? And when I came down here, my whole thing was to be open. Just work hard and do everything else, but just be open to what came my way and what, it's hard to put it out into words without sounding really esoteric or really weird and whacked out, but, just kind of be open more to the universe and what it's bringing. And so I was like, you know what? Very worst case, it can't hurt to meet somebody. Can't hurt to meet people, So I went in and it's been, after I met Chris and then Leah, it was a perfect setup, the perfect office, the perfect opportunity, the perfect match for my skill set. Everything just was like tailor-made. So I took it. I didn't let my pride or my ego get in the way, and I was like, you know what? This is something that I think would be really fulfilling to me, both professionally and personally. And it's been absolutely amazing. I'm not giving up any online marketing or affiliate marketing, but I just added this to it because it's something that I very much enjoy with people that I very much appreciate and vibe with, and it's a great opportunity. And it, like I said, I get to keep expanding my online marketing skills, my internet marketing skills in other areas. So it's been really exciting. It's been really challenging. It's been a huge growth opportunity for me. And, I look back and like if I had just been pig-headed and said, no, I don't need it. I'm too good for that, or whatever. So little things like that are huge, can be huge turning points if you take the hint.
Yep. I think it's cool.
I do. Looking back, it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
And in the moment, it's almost like you have to trust, and some people call it your sixth sense or your instinct or embrace the moment. So you can phrase it whatever you want, but irregardless, each part of it requires a decision.
Yep.
So, and at the time, you don't have the ability to zoom out and then zoom in because you only know what's happening right now and what happened yesterday. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So,
right.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's cool.
I like the sixth sense. I mean, we start talking about being more receptive to the universe and your third eye and sixth sense, and more in harmony.
Yeah.
With the world around you, and like Tesla said, everything in life is frequency.
Yeah.
So if you can tune in and be more in tune with the frequency of the universe, it can guide you.
Yeah. And I'll never forget one of the incidences that made me really aware, or the first one, of course. I was very, very young when I was aware that following messages like that, or signals from the universe, or if you get kind of a visual of something that's not actually happening, it might be just a sixth sense or a message from the universe, and if you follow it, that's a decision as well. So anyway, mine was when I was very young. I spent the first 5 years of my life mostly in the hospital. So I was probably about 3 or 4, and there was this large child in one of those metal cribs. He was like 16 or 17 at the time. And
that's a large child.
Yeah, but he wasn't full grown. So he looked, his body size was probably about the size of a 4-year-old. He was born with water on the brain, so they called them waterheads. The actual term is mongoloid. And
oh, wow.
He couldn't speak. He was very deformed, and he just laid there on the same side all the time. And I spent a lot of time standing in front of his crib. And the nurses would always try to haul me away, but I insisted on standing there. And the thing is, I could hear his voice. He wasn't able to talk. Like he made some kind of warning or more moaning kind of sounds. But
Uh-huh.
to me, I could hear him speak and I could hear him laugh. So every day I spent as much time in front of him as I could. And I would talk to him and I would tell him my name and I would talk to him.
Right.
It wasn't very long and I had him laughing. I taught him how to laugh. I taught him how to say my name. He could say hello soon. I bugged the nurses and insisted that they get him up every day so that I could feed him.
Huh.
So he would
And
listen
how
to
old?
the commands and open his mouth so I could feed them. The nurses did not like me because here's this bossy little girl. But
How old? You were like 5, you said?
3 and 4 years old, yeah,
Hmm.
under 5.
Hmm.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's.
And they said, he can't talk. Like, I said, yes, he will. Because I heard his voice. So I pushed and he did. It was like garbled, but he could talk. And he said my name, and that was the happiest day. I still feel, when I reflect on it, I still feel so happy hearing him say, hi, Sue.
Hmm.
So that left a very big impression on me. So whenever I get, whatever you want to call it, the sixth sense or a vision of what could be or what's possible or a little message, I follow it because wonderful things can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You just can't be resistant to it.
Yeah, you have to embrace it for what it is.
Yeah.
His name was Brian, and he died when I was 7. But he was 18 when he died.
Huh. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. He gave me, so I gave him something, and he gave me a huge gift that's still paying me right now.
Wow. Huh. Hey, you never told me that story before.
No, I haven't. There's 2 videos that I told it in, but no, I have never told you that story.
Huh. Yeah, it makes you think. It makes you think. For sure.
Yeah, the power of people. We have a lot of power over each other.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we had these conversations? We'll either go off on some other tangents, but they're always thought-provoking conversations. And after we get off the hangout, we just feel so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Well, times. Even like this one isn't, you know, kind of a little bit more tangenty, I suppose, than we originally intended, but still,
Yeah,
still.
you just got to roll with it, I guess.
Yeah, I got to roll with it. Got to roll with it. I've had, like, you know, personally, when I look back, especially over the past year or two, well, year to year and a half, when I kind of tried to open myself up and been seeking a kind of a higher spiritual self, trying to seek to develop that part of myself a little bit more. It's just astonishing to me. And I look back and I can see so many instances like that. I mean, I can't even begin to count. There's so many little what just really appear to be random acts that have or happenings or random instances that have kind of changed the way my life has gone, or changed the way I look at things, the way I view things. So.
Yeah. I think I use the universe. I rely on the universe. I actually ask the universe for help a lot with parenting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, parenting is a particular struggle, especially with kids your age.
Yeah. The universe must help parent teenagers.
Yeah. When I adopt, you know, 17-year-old Costa Rican girl, then you can give me advice on how to be a good parent.
Yeah.
I'm in Mexico. I can say whatever I want. You can't sue me.
Okay.
So you can give me advice.
Oh my God.
Really weird, because I saw a guy at eating at a little place on the beach here called Wicky's. Great hamburgers, and it's all, right. You just look at the beach. It's amazing. But there's a Mexican dude here, or there, wearing a shirt. Had a picture of Darth Vader on it, and it said "Soy un padre," which is "I am your father." The whole Darth Vader Star Wars thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I automatically thought something different. But I'll be able to use that at some point. My ever-expanding Spanish language skills.
I don't know any Spanish.
I'm getting there, slowly but surely. I think I'm enrolling in. Actually, not too far away from here. There's what's called the International House, and they have a really good program for locals. It's not intensive. It's like 3 hours a week or something like that, but it's only like 500 pesos a month, which is $40. It's next to nothing.
Yeah.
Get the basics down. There's enough people for me to practice on down here. There's no excuse for me not to speak Spanish.
Yeah. And it's always good to further your, or like to be able to increase your communication.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really, because I am a talker, in case you haven't figured that out, and I like to talk with people, and I like to have deep, intellectual, stimulating conversations, and I can barely say hi and, how's the weather in Spanish, and when you want to actually communicate with somebody eloquently, it's very difficult when you don't know the language, and it's very frustrating.
When I went to, I guess it was 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago when I was in India, they thought it was so funny because I would just keep on talking and just keep on like hand signals, and I would just keep on talking, and then they would catch pieces of it. And then this one time, somebody that was standing on the sidelines explained in their language that she keeps on saying, or like the lady that was standing by explained, this girl, with me, referring to me, keeps on talking, and she keeps on saying, if I keep on talking, maybe you'll get what I'm talking about. And they just cracked up laughing right there because I kept on saying, okay, if I just keep on explaining it, then maybe you'll get it. So I'm just going to really explain it. We want to go to that beach, and I was just explaining where we wanted to go that day, and I just kept on talking. So it was like from that moment on, because my mom and I we were there for 3 weeks, and that was just it was before the hospital stay. So it was like only the second day there. After that, they treated us like royalty. Like they just fell in love with us after that. Like if this silly woman is just gonna like keep on talking until we finally get what she's talking about.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I have to do? Like I've never been in that extreme of a language barrier. I mean, we have our North American natives, but I know just enough Cree, and I know how to communicate with them. So it's not really a language barrier.
Right.
And most of my language barrier situations was in my career as nursing. And well, it's easy to just demonstrate, like pick up something and point and kind of describe it, but.
Right.
Anyway, I had nothing to go on but my words.
I'm learning just enough Spanish that it actually hurts me, because I'll be able to get some basics out fairly competently at like a restaurant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will automatically assume that I speak Spanish and start talking a million miles an hour about all sorts of shit. I'm like, no, wait, what?
I only know
Like,
5 words.
lo más despacio. So, yeah. Because I did that today. I had a couple quick interchanges with the waiter, and then he's talking like he drank 4 Red Bulls in the back and just in Spanish. I was like, I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
That's funny.
But it's all a process. All a process. So,
Yeah.
anything else to add, real quick?
I don't. No, I don't think so. I'm pretty chill about it. I just really would encourage anybody to embrace any message or whatever you want to refer it to, whether it's a sixth sense or embrace what the universe has to offer you, because it can be life-changing and it's worth it.
Yeah. Follow your gut, whatever you want to call it.
Doesn't matter. No.
Yeah.
It has brought me
Listen
to
to
some
the,
of the most fabulous people in fact, I'd have to say that most of the very best and shiniest and people that in my life that I appreciate the most were all a result of some sort of message from the universe.
yeah. Some weird happenstance
Mm-hmm.
that puts you together.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I agree. So,
Well, this
yeah.
was
Why don't we close
awesome.
on
I
that
can't
note?
believe we waited this long, or like it's taken us this long to have a chat.
I know, I know. We need to pick up the pace a little bit, go back to a little bit of organization, even if it's just once a month or once every 2 weeks or something like that. I think if we can, this is kind of an impromptu sort of thing, and we can have a little bit more, something a little bit more organized, laid out, whatever, in the future. But yeah, just good to get back in it.
And if you go back and look at pretty much every one of our recordings, because they're all still out there and they all still get views, there's some really good content there. I still pull them out every once in a while. If somebody, either one of my students or a coaching client or somebody, a topic comes up somewhere, I'll think, hey, I think Steve and I talked about that, and I'll go, oh yeah, sure enough, and I pull it out and send it to them. Watch this.
What I'm really interested in, I haven't done this yet, but one of the things I've been interested in doing is going back, looking at some of our old videos from about a year ago, just to see, just to kind of try and get an insight, a little bit more objective insight, hindsight, whatever you want to look at, of what was going on with me at the time. It's tough. I mean, we all try and, well, I would hope we all try and be an objective with ourselves and everything like that.
It's
But I
hard.
think yeah. Now, like, we've talked, and I know you say that you can tell a big change in me and stuff like that, but I want to be able to go back and look at video, because video doesn't lie, and just see for myself, like, say, take that little excerpt that's on video, see where my head seemed to be, and then, like, fast forward 6 months or a year and look at new ones,
Yeah, and you know what would be really cool with that is I have the same thing with me. Like, I know I was in a different headspace, and space then, but I don't have a real clear perception of it, but I have a clear perception of you, how you've changed. So I wonder the same thing for me.
Yeah, you've changed.
Have I?
For sure. Yeah, you've become, one thing I've noticed about you, you've become a lot more sure of yourself, a lot more confident, a lot more willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah. That I am aware of, but probably not as aware as I could be.
Right. You're probably aware that it happened, but not to the extent. It's really tough to keep tabs on yourself. Really.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. But I think that's also important. Like, I tried to stay, when all of that was happening with me, I've been through a lot of stuff in my life before, and obviously, and one of the main things that I remember going on in my head that was important to me was to kind of stay present and really enjoy the moment, enjoy the process, and be fully aware. And I think that's gonna. I think that helped a lot because I really tried to pay attention to everything that was going on around me. But even as cognizant as I was, trying to be in the moment and be present, when I look back, it's almost still like a movie like that was somebody else. You know, like I mean, like I look back and I'm like, hey, why? I mean, why did I choose? Why did I just walk out of my job and burn my suit so I could never go back? You know. And then yeah, it was big. It's funny going back because it is almost like a movie to me instead of me. Like it's happened to somebody else. Even though I was trying to be present and experience everything, it still has that effect. It's kind of strange.
Nice. Hmm.
Strange but awesome.
Yeah. Well, if you do go
So
back, make sure that you share some feedback with how you see it yourself and myself and our conversations. I'm sure our conversations grew as well.
right, yeah. So we go back and watch one of our first couple of videos. Both of us are going to see it in a different light, mostly concerning ourselves. Like I would see what I've seen, experience with you. I've already experienced that and seen it objectively, as you've seen me.
Yeah.
We probably notice a lot different stuff about ourselves.
Exactly.
Maybe that should be our homework before our next hangout.
Dang.
All right. Yeah, we'll do a 1 year anniversary hangout or something.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more in the year, but yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat. 1 year anniversary, a Saturday afternoon coffee mastermind. Didn't start call? Well, yeah, we started calling that right away, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like the first one was repurposing content, and then I think it was right after that we started calling it right away. We had a name for it, and the page that we sent people to, but then we didn't always pre-plan the time because we were just being adaptable to each other's schedule all the time.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, let's look at those back. Maybe we can look at the first, whatever date was uploaded, the first actual coffee mastermind, and do it 1 year.
Yeah. Maybe the 1 year could be like later in the evening, though, and we could do it with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, and Jose Cuervo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So,
Okay.
all right, let's do that, and be in touch soon. I got to jam up out of here. Got to go get Winston out and all that kind of stuff.
So for those of you watching, if you're not already subscribed, you'll find this video on my YouTube channel. You'll find it on Steve's YouTube channel. So subscribe to the channel, connect with us in social media, and watch for the 1 year anniversary.
Absolutely.
Bye.
All right, bye, guys.